see. I think I maybe set it up to record it from the get-go. Yeah, I think it, I don't know. I'm not sure, but anyway, I'm recording it now and I'll post it. Let's see. Dang, I just turned in my same board for FPGA. Yeah, I took the class this summer. No problem. You can check it back out. That's okay, Logan. Where do we pick them up? Okay, so the lab is in the engineering building, EB 020422. EB 020422. It's just the second floor lab, and you guys know which one that is, I'm sure. Let's see. Alejandro email said at the lab this week you can come during any lab time. Yes, that's right. So ideally you should come. So here are the labs: Monday and Wednesday 2 to 4:45, and Thursday 11:30 to what is it, 11:30 to 1:45 or something like that. I forget. Anyway, but we'll be there tomorrow. We'll be there from 11:30 to 12:30. Today we'll be there from 12 to 3 for sure. If there's a whole bunch of people still working, Alex will probably hang around. If there's, if everybody comes and picks up a board and leaves and there's nobody there at 3, we'll probably leave at 3. But so try and get in 2:30. Don't come much later than that, so you can get the board. Let's see. Let's see. $35 soft cover on Amazon. Is that right? That's pretty cool. I didn't realize it. Can we get a link to download it? Well, I'm sure, I know there are broken links out there, but I probably shouldn't provide those. Is there a sufficient amount of boards for all students to check one out, or will some of us need to group together? No, everybody will have a board. We have enough. We got some more. We got 10 more this summer, and I know a few broke, and there were a few that weren't turned in from the summer, but I think we're still in good shape. Yeah, 2021.1 is a 50 gigabyte download. So yeah, so if you want, you can go for 2021.1 for Vivado. That's fine too. You don't have to do Vitis. It's much bigger than that. I think it's like 70 gigabytes or something. But so if you want to just do 2021.1 Vivado, that's fine. Remember, do download the SDK. That should download automatically with it. But make sure you check the SDK, because you will need to use that at the end. Let's see. Yeah, and there's the address. So Michael posted this, so you can get that. Oh, it looks like they do have archives. All right. Yeah. Make sure you use the right download link. Is it possible to pick up the board next week? Yeah, if you're not here in town and you want to pick the board up next week, that's okay. Yeah. Just make sure you plan on picking it up and then sitting down and working on it right there, or have your laptop all loaded up, ready to go. I'm not a big stickler that you have to be in lab to do all your work, but I do want you to come by lab most days, and at least show us in person what you're doing, because I think sometimes if you're not there, you're going to miss picking up some of the fine points. So I'd really like this to be an in-person laboratory, and I usually require attendance, but for sure I'm going to require that you demonstrate to the TA each of your laboratories in order to get credit. Okay, so yeah, so Michael's put several things on here. I'm no expert on downloading this. I usually, I did download Vitis. I have played with it a little bit. I don't feel real comfortable with it yet. Yeah, 233 megabytes. So that's not okay. So yeah. So I don't know. It depends on how you do it. I think there's some ways you can do it, but you should be able to get the free version. Make sure you get the free version, not the temporary. I think there's a temporary license version you don't want. If we have the boards and all the materials we need labs at home, would it be okay if we finish the lab at home? Yes, you can finish the lab at home, but I would like you then the next week when you come into lab to demonstrate that lab in person to the TA. But that, if you have it on an SD card, that only takes you a few seconds. So you can just pop in and do that. Yeah, can we do the labs from home? Yeah. So yeah, if you have high risk people, if you really have a situation that's difficult, then go ahead and make a video. Uh,
Dr. Morton,
yeah, go ahead.
quick question. Could
Hey, Alex.
they,
Oh, good.
hey, oh, I've been on here for a while.
Oh, sorry, I didn't even look for you. Yeah. So
No,
this, why don't you do your video so you can so I can introduce you to everybody?
okay. I was gonna say, I think they should submit it on YouTube because last time it was just kind of a whole mess with uploading it on Blackboard,
Yeah.
especially the MP4 files. So I really recommend they upload it on YouTube. It's not hard at all. And
Right.
if they do, make sure they don't make it on private, or else if it's submitted last minute, I can't grade it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a really good point. So, Alex, turn on your video and show your face to everybody so so they'll recognize you.
So like doing it in public.
Got it.
Okay, there you go. So Alex makes a really good point. I reviewed a bunch of videos too. When people put them on like the one of the sharing websites, and then you have to get permission. Sometimes you have a lot of trouble logging on. It's a big hassle. Just put it on YouTube and post the YouTube link. That's fine. And you should always record it as an MP3. I mean an MP4. Don't try and avoid the other formats because a bunch of them I'm sure will work with YouTube, but it's really good if you do the MP4. That typically works great. And if you have the link, then it plays it at full speed and it's not frustrating. On some of the share files, it's jumpy and jerky and it's terrible to watch. So if you want to do it, go ahead and do that. Put your ID card in the picture and then demonstrate it on the board. Try and do the audio too, so we can, so you can explain what you're doing. But I would, so that's fine. So Alex, would you prefer they do that, or would you, as opposed to demonstrating it in person?
I mean, they can demo it in person. I'm just saying for those, I saw someone say that they're from Austin or like they're in Austin right now. So if they're going to submit it online, just do it via YouTube, because if you do it via MP4 file on Blackboard, all my computer space is going to be taken up, and I have that, special space for gaming and studying.
Yeah.
Mostly studying.
Sorry about that.
No, it's all good. But no, YouTube is the best to use.
I'm just gonna like
that link.
record. I'm just gonna like record everything, post them on YouTube, then just delete them on the computer.
Yeah, that's
basically.
fine.
It's just gonna be saved on YouTube. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah, there's no reason to have it on your computer, the video on your computer.
And another thing, if you upload it on Google Drive, make sure that it's public, because I had a situation where a student failed because I was grading their stuff and they wouldn't give me access for some reason, so I just couldn't grade their stuff.
Yeah, so you have to conclude that
Gotcha.
there's really not a video there to look at.
Right.
Yeah, don't use Google Drive. Just put it on YouTube. It's a little bit. It's the very first time you ever do it. It's a bit of a hassle, but after that, it's super easy. YouTube makes it easy, and all you have to do is create an account, and you already probably have one because it's just a Google password basically is all you have to have.
Right.
So, and you can create a bogus Gmail account if you want to kind of go with it, but yeah. So I would. It's much better to do it on YouTube. Putting it on Blackboard's worthless, really. All right. Any other thoughts, Alex?
No, just have fun in the course, learn a lot. Don't bug me last minute, please. So yeah, I'm pretty chill when it comes to helping out with DSD. So if you have any questions, let me know. I also, outside of TA, I work on a lot of robotics stuff. So if you have any questions about robotics or embedded systems or advice on pursuing this career, feel free to let me know. I'm pretty good to answer questions.
Yeah, Alex is great. So, and what you should do if you're trying to do it at home and you're having problems, just come into the lab, and you can come into so the labs again. Monday, Wednesday at 1 at 2, Tuesday at 11:30. Just you don't have to be scheduled for that lab. Just come in anytime to get help, and it's fine. We want you to learn the stuff, and you have to do it to learn the stuff. So I just really encourage you to do that. I would like you to come to lecture. I think you'll get a lot out of coming to lecture in person, but I'm going to leave the videos on. So if you don't come to lecture, but you know, I just really encourage you. I think you're cheating yourself if you don't, drag your butt into San Antonio and come to class. I mean, I realize convenience is a push, but if you're cheating yourself out of you're paying for an education, and you're probably not going to learn everything you need that you could learn if you came. So as much as you can, if you're really in Austin, you can't come here, and you don't want to show up in lab, well, at least stop by from time to time and just check in. So
I was going to tell you, like, I
done.
want to step by time to time, and same for the lecture, because I live in Austin, and if I lived in San Antonio right now, I would come to the lecture and the lab every single day. Like, believe me. But like driving from here to San Antonio is like, it's like 2 hours and 30 minutes, and coming back is also 2 hours and 30 minutes. So like, that's a big waste of time if I come every single time.
Yeah, I get it.
So I will come
understand.
every now and then. Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I know it's yeah. Okay. Any other? Let's see.
I'm gonna log off the camera, Dr. Morton.
Okay, no problem. Okay, I'll see you at 2.
All right, sounds good. I'll be there.
Okay. All right. So let me just, I think what I'll do now, let me just shift to, so the way we're going to do the course, let me switch to the syllabus. So I'll blow it up a little bit, and let's see, I'll share my screen too. Okay. Can you guys see that okay? So the university likes us to put all this boilerplate stuff in here. But really what you need to know, go all the way to the end. And it's kind of broken down like this. So today, notice that we're going to start on chapter 2 of the book, not chapter 1. We're going to go back and pick up chapter 1 a little bit, but I wanted to do chapter 2 because chapter 1 is a review of logic design, which it's not going to help you getting started writing Vivado stuff. So I want to get you going with the Verilog language, and then once we kind of get some stuff done and we cover some of the basics, then we're going to go back and do a quick review and take a test over chapter 1 essentially. So what we'll do is we'll do chapter 2 all the way through here, and then starting on the 10th of September, I guess that is, we'll go back and do chapter 1, and then we'll do chapter 1. Let's see. So chapter 1, chapter 1, chapter 1, chapter 1. We'll do that for 4 days. Is it? No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days, and then we'll take a test over chapter 1. So in that time, we'll cover the entire logic design course. So hopefully by then you already kind of have your chops working on Verilog, and so this will just kind of be a quick refresher, and then we'll go with chapter 3, and that's a fairly short chapter, and then we'll do 4, 5, and 6, and so forth. And we'll get done. We'll get done with. Let's see. We'll get done with the book. Let's see. Well, by early November, and then we'll have a few. All the 11A, 11B, 11C. These are just additional material that's not in the book. Some of it's specific to the Xilinx chip and things like that. So we'll take the second test then on the here on the 12th of November, and then we'll do the final. I don't know if I guess I'll probably do these tests. I haven't decided for sure. I may have you take the tests online. So they'll basically be open book tests. But I want you to make it your individual work. I don't think I'll have you necessarily, I don't know, I have thought about maybe having you do it in class online. I don't know. But then I know maybe, so I'll think about it. You can give me some
Oh, Martin.
feedback on that. Yeah, go ahead.
So like, how about this? So if the people who come in class and take the exam with you, is that also gonna be open notes or is that gonna be closed notes?
No, if you, no, you can, all the tests will be open book.
Okay, okay. Just want to make sure.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll make it the same. We'll make it the same for everybody. Yeah. And I may want you to take the test in class, just you know, just have some handle on, everybody kind of playing fair. All right. I don't know if you noticed, Alex put a comment in about Discord's the best way to chat with him. There's usually a Discord site, and usually there are several other students on there that have taken DSD. Sometimes we've had a couple of other undergraduates just help out in the lab. We had John and Alec last semester along with Alex, and they were super helpful. I don't know if we can recruit them again or not, but and we're always looking. If you have a friend that's good with Verilog, I'll arrange to get him paid a little bit to just help out as an undergraduate helper. So let's see. Yeah, okay, yeah, good. Okay. Let's see. So let me just go through this real briefly. I do want you to read through the syllabus. I know it's pretty boring, just scan through it, but the parts you should look at. So I think mass will be encouraged but optional. So that's good. There may be some additional hardware. I may modify some of the labs as we go along and add some external hardware. I've been thinking about doing that for a while now, but at this point, that's not set up. So it might not happen, but it probably will. So like I said, I probably won't be a stickler on attendance this semester because of, we're still fiddling with COVID, but I do want to encourage everybody, at some point, we're just going to have to get past this. If you have loved ones that are high risk, get them vaccinated because for a high risk person, the risk of the vaccination is clearly much less than the risk of the infection. And I think something like 80 to 90% of high risk people, people over 65 in San Antonio are vaccinated. So a lot of our high risk people are vaccinated. We have something like 60-70% of people over, 80% of people over 50 are vaccinated. So most of the high risk people have gotten vaccinated. But if you have someone in your house that in your home that's not vaccinated, that's high risk, get them vaccinated because for them it's a no-brainer. For a young person, I understand some hesitancy. I got vaccinated, but then I'm over 70. So anyway, there's my office hour information. I'm going to be on campus a lot. BSE 1.538. It's in the normal part of the electrical engineering office space in BSE. I will have a Zoom on Mondays at 12:15, so basically noon, but it'll be 12:15 to 1, and then I'll come into lab and be there today. Let's see. We're going to talk about logic design review. We're going to do the basics of Verilog. We're going to do a bunch of different design examples. We're going to show you how to use SM charts and microprogramming. We're going to talk about the architecture of the FPGA and how it works, types of adders and multipliers. We're going to take a good look at an array multiplier. We'll take a good look at a carry look ahead adder. We'll talk about the IEEE 754 standard. I'm going to have to update my stuff because they changed the standard this year. I guess late last year they changed it, and they didn't. It's all backwards compatible, but they added some additional features to the standard. that's kind of interesting. So, but all floating point numbers in almost all computing machinery, almost all digital hardware that handles floating point numbers uses the 754 standard. So you should know that. You don't have to, it's not a bunch of memory. You just need to be aware of it. And we'll go through it. We'll make you an expert on it. We'll talk about testing, and then a little bit about memory design, reduced instruction set processors, and some of the advanced Verilog features. So there is homework. The homework should be turned in by the due date. If you don't turn it in by the due date, you can turn it up to 1 week late. And after that, there's no credit at all. 1 week late, you'll lose 50%. But you only have to get 50% to get full credit. So what you should do, if you have 90% of it done, turn it in on time and don't wait to do the last 10% and turn it in a week late, because then you have to get everything right in order to get credit. Whereas if you turn it in on time with 80% done, you get 80% credit, or 70% or 60% credit, you still get full credit. So you have to have, I forget how many homeworks, but if you turn in all the homeworks, you'll get 100% of your recitation grade. Be thinking early on in the course about things you might want to do for your final project. I'll be pretty flexible. I will usually give you like 4 specific options, and then kind of an open-ended option. Usually the specific options are individuals, but if you want to do the open-ended and make it a little more complicated and you want to have a team, that's fine. I'll let you do that. But I want you to do something where you're going to learn from it.
Dr. Moran,
Yeah.
this question. For the final project, is there a certain requirements that you have to be able to qualify for the open-ended side of things?
Yeah, I want you to, well, here, before I do this, I want you to talk with me about it, but as long as I agree with it, you're good to go. But yeah, it needs to be challenging enough. So if you do, if you do something that's like, well, I'll lay it out. We'll talk about that at length. But usually, if you do a group project, I usually want it to include a VGA display. And that complicates it enough to make it acceptable in my view. So, but it doesn't have to be that. It could be other things that were somewhat more complicated. Like if you wanted to, this board's fast enough to process a lot of stuff, video, audio. FPGAs are fast. The clock's 200 megahertz, but remember, it's hardware. So it's going to run at the speed of hardware. But if you have something that's clocked, then you're running at 200 megahertz. But if it's just a set of gates, if it's just a network, it's running at hardware. It turns out though, the board doesn't like to not have a clock involved in the design. So we'll talk about that as we go, but you'll see that FPGAs like to have their clock. Okay, we will have homework. Probably won't have any quizzes. I'll have to think about that, but I've kind of gotten away from quizzes. But what you will have is, there is I don't know, the videos do have quizzes involved with them. So I don't know. I may do it so if you come to class, you don't have to do the end of video quizzes, and if you don't come to class, you have to do the quizzes. That'll be a little bit of a motivation. So I'll think about that. But anyway, you'll find the quizzes interesting. I don't know if I guess I'll turn them on so you can see them and put on due dates. There'll be 2 midterms. One will be the review of logic design, and then one will be a midterm over the rest of the material. And then there'll be a final project and the labs. I want you to do all the labs. I want you to do the final project. You could have you could be missing 1 lab, but if you're missing more than that, it's going to hurt your grade. Well, 1 will hurt your grade too, but if you're missing 2, it's going to really impact your grade. So do the labs. That's really the meat of the course, is having the hands-on lab experience. And that's where you're going to learn, you're going to learn about Verilog. Okay. Again, the text is digital system design using Verilog, first edition, Roth, John, and Lee. Lee was in our department. John is Dr. John's wife. Forget her name. It's a funny name. But yeah, but it's Dr. John's wife. Let's see.
I have a question.
Yeah.
So for that book, it's I think it's Lizzie K. John.
It's Lizzie.
Um,
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Mhm. You said we didn't need it after November, right? Because then I can just rent it via ebook for 120 days instead of the full.
You could do
It'll
that.
save me some money, basically.
Yeah,
Cool.
you could do that. You'll be fine with that. Yeah, I think once you read it, it'll help you to read the book. And once you read it, you probably don't need to use it as a reference.
Cool.
Yeah, I think it's good. I think it's just, usually if you present information to your brain in a number of modalities, some of the information will stick better when you read it. Some will stick better in lecture. Some will stick better in lab. Usually labs where it sticks the most. But I think all those modalities are helpful, even for people like me who typically don't do better. I do better in lecture than I do reading a textbook, but everybody's a little different. But even for me, reading also does really help me. I get parts that I wouldn't get if I didn't do the reading. So we'll do A, B, C, D, F. In this course, if you do the labs, if you do the homework and the labs and the final project, and you do half decent on the test, you're going to get a B or an A. Nobody's going to get a C that does that. If you really bomb the test, you probably still get a B. But if you don't do the work, you get a C. So the work is really the key. Do the homework, do the labs, and do the final project. You won't get a C. Because I don't put that much stock in the test. And if you do great on the test and you do all the work, you'll probably get you locked in for an A. So, but I give a lot of A's and a lot of B's and only a few C's. So just do the work. I usually give an incomplete if you don't turn in all the labs, but I don't know. I kind of got burned on that. There are a number of people from micro last fall. I had 20 incompletes and only one or two of them had worked them off. So I don't know if I'm going to bother with that. I think I'll just flunk you. I don't know if you really want an incomplete, I'll be happy to. If you come and talk to me, I'll give you one. But otherwise, I'll probably just give you an F. So do the work. It's just that simple. It's not hard. Okay, this is the rest of it. I will have there will be I will give you I will do an online prereq test. I don't think I have an online prereq test set up for this course yet, but I'll do that. And once I get it set up, I'll let you know, and you can do the online test. I think we're going to quit there because we're out of time. So just go to this part of the syllabus and you can keep up with the course here. And so theoretically Wednesday we should do the prereq test, but again, since we're online, I'll probably just do a lecture and I'll have the prereq test posted hopefully by Friday at the latest. And we'll start out on chapter 2. All right, so go ahead and see if you can read through chapter 2. I do actually think I had a couple of chapters before, because we did this course before the book was published. And so I think chapter 1 and 2 might be available on Blackboard. So you could just read them off of Blackboard, but that's all I had on Blackboard. All right. Any more questions? Go ahead and shout out. Otherwise, we'll sign off.
One quick question.
Go ahead, Josh.
Will the labs for the first week be live sessions or will they be videos?
We're gonna be there. So you can come in, do your lab in the lab, pick up your board, do your lab in your lab, and demo it in the lab and get credit, and that's fine. If you want to come in, pick up your board, and then do all your work at home, you can submit a video.
Okay, thank you.
So we just have to come in one of the days for this first week or next week and pick up our board, right?
Yeah, it would be good if you came in this week if you could, so you can get started. Don't get behind.
We have a
Yeah.
lab today, right?
We will be there today. We'll be there Tuesday. So today at 2, Tuesday at 11:30, Wednesday at 2. You can go on, you can go on ASAP and look at the course and see when all the lab sections are. But it's Monday,
Okay.
Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday, Wednesday, 2, Tuesday, 11:30. And we'll be there for at least an hour. We may stay longer if there are people in the lab working.
I don't know. I think this might shock you, but this is gonna be the first time for me to actually go ahead and pay a visit for UTSA.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't shock me. I know there are a
So-
lot of students.
So
But
like,
it's okay. I would tell you this though, don't cheat yourself. Don't let convenience get in the way of a good education.
okay. It's just I want to like find your class and I hope I'm not gonna be lost. That's about it.
Well, you can write down my cell phone number and call me. I'll direct you.
Alright,
We'll send out a posse to find you.
thank you.
All right. Okay. Anybody
Have a
else?
wonderful day.
Okay. You guys too.